Dear students, let us continue our learning on the course Data Structures and Applications. We are in the fourth session of the module 4. The topics covered under this session are binary tree representation under the topic trees. Myself, Dr. Suresh Adi from the Department of Computer Science and Engineering of Kendra Engineering College, Bantwal, Mangalore. So in the last class, we see what is a binary tree. So if we go with the architecture of the binary tree, so binary tree is a tree wherein the each node may have a maximum of two children over there. So either the degree of each node will be 0, or it can be 1, or it can be 2. So such a representation we call as the binary tree. And in the binary tree, we have seen the different types of binary trees. So now in this video presentation, we are going to have a discussion on the various representation of the binary trees. There are two majorly representation of binary trees are there. The first one is array representation and the second one is linked representation. So array is in a linear data structure we learned already wherein the concept of index is used. So as we learned already, so array is nothing but a sequence of elements wherein each element will be of a same data type. The array starting index will start from 0, the next index will be 1, then the next index will be 2, then the next index will be 3. So if an array is of size 100, then the last index will be 99. So wherein the elements will maintain its continuity based on the index values. The elements are accessed based on the index values. The index value will start from 0 till the value of your maximum element minus 1. Since it is starting from 0, so we will take the last element will be, if the size is 100, then we will take it as 100 minus 1, which will be equal to 99. So in the array representation, so the elements are accessed on the concept of index values over there. Then similar to that of arrays, we learned one more representation, that is your linked list representation. In the linked list representation, each element will be called as a node in the linked list, wherein there are two different types of linked list we have seen. One is a singly linked list and other is the doubly linked list. In case of singly linked list, there is one data item will be there and the second one will be your link field will be there. Each node will have the two components in the linked list. That is, the first one is the data item, then the second one will be the link. The link field will hold the address of next node in case of the singly linked list. The link field will hold the address of the next element in the list. So the link field of the last node will be made 0 or null. If it is a circular singly linked list, then the link field of the last node is connected to the first node or the ender node. So since it has some drawbacks over there, so we went with the other approaches. The other approach will be your doubly linked list. So in case of doubly linked list, there will be two link fields will be there. One will be left link, other is the right link. The first one will be your left link and the second one will be your right link. These are the two link fields in case of the doubly linked list. And along with these two links, there will be a data field will be there, which will hold the data of that node. Always the left link will point to your previous element, that is the previous node, and the right link will point to your next node. So that we can traverse in both the directions. Either we can traverse in the left direction or we can traverse in the right direction, which was not possible in the singly linked list. So in the singly linked list, we have to take a route from the header node till your last node over there. There is no option of going back to your previous node. That drawback has been removed with the help of the doubly linked list representation. So in the here, to access the next element, we will follow the links. So that is the links are followed. Whether the left link or the right link, the links are followed to have the next element. But in case of arrays, we follow the index values. In case of arrays, we follow the index values for accessing the next element. Suppose I want to have an element index at the 3, I want to access the next element, then the index is incremented by 1. That is 2 plus 1, that is 3. That is the 3 is the index of my next element. But in case of a singly linked list, what we will do, if I am there at the node temp, if I want to access the next element, so I will go to the next element, that is the next element will be, I will call it as the nn, will be equal to temp of link. That is for your singly linked list. If it is for the doubly linked list, if I want to access the previous element, if I want to access the previous element, then we will call it as a temp of left link. If I take the left link, then I will get the address element node of the previous. That is the previous element I will get. If I will follow the right link, if I follow the right link, then I will get my next element. That is both the elements I can get in case of your doubly linked list. By following the left link, I can get my previous element. By following the right link, I can get the next element. Right? So now these links are used for accessing the next element in case of linked representation. But here in case of arrays, the index are followed to get the next element over there. Now if we let us learn in detail how the binary tree is represented using these two representations, that is your arrays and the linked list. In the linked list, we use doubly linked list for the linked representation of the binary tree. To go with the array representation. So a tree can be represented using an array which is called a sequential representation. The nodes are numbered from 1 to n. The nodes are numbered from 1 to n. Even though the array index will start from 0, but here the nodes are numbered from 1 to n. Then, and one dimensional array can be used to store the nodes. Position 0 of this array is left empty and the node numbered I is mapped to the position I of the array. Right? So let us see one example, then it will be much more clear. So let me take this example now. So now it's an example of your skewed tree. The skewed tree comes under your left skewed tree and the right skewed tree. So in the left skewed tree, what happens? All the nodes, child nodes are connected as a left child of its parent. In this example, A is the parent, B is connected as a left child. Next, B is the parent, C is connected as a left child. Then next, C is the parent, D is connected as a left child. Then D is the parent, E is connected as a left child. Means all the elements are connected as the left child over there. That will be your left skewed tree. In case of your right skewed tree, root parent will be there and each child will be connected as a right child over there. Suppose A is my parent, then B is connected as a right child. If B is a parent, then C is connected as a right child. If C is a parent, D is connected as a right child. If D is a parent, then E is connected as a right child. This is right skewed tree. So these are the two variations in the skewed tree, that is your left skewed tree and the right skewed tree. Now let us take the example of our left skewed tree. So now in this skewed tree, we have 5 nodes which are present over there. They are A, B, C, D and the E. A is the parent of B, B is the left child of A. B is the parent of C, C is the left child of B. D is the left child of C, C is the parent of D. Then E is the left child of D and D is the parent of E. So now if I go for representing this one in case with the help of the arrays. So as we have told in the previous slide, the arrays have the sequential representation. So let me write the sequential representation over here. The array starting index will start from 0. Next index is 1. Next index is 2. Next index will be 3. Next index will be 4. So like that, the last index, let me take it as a n over there. So first, the first element will be left blank. We won't fill anything at the index value 0. Then the next element, that is the root. The root will start its value at the index 1. That is my A. Fine. Then next, to go to my left child, the index value of the parent is multiplied by 2. This is the position for the left child, and for the right child this will be parent index multiplied by 2 plus 1 is the index value for the right child. That is a parent index value multiplied by 2 is the index value for the left child. Then a parent index multiplied by 2 plus 1 is the index value for the right child. So now in this example, since it is a left skewed tree, so now A is the parent. So index value of the parent is 1 multiplied by 2. So what is the value of 1 into 2, which is 2. There the left child will be fitted. What is the left child of A? B. So B is fitted over here. There is no right child. Again to fit the C. C is the left child of B. What is the index of B? Index of B is 2. 2 into 2. What is the value of 2 into 2? 2 into 2 will be equal to 4. So at the index value of the 4, your C is fitted. Next, to go store the D. So to store the D, D is the child of C. What is the index value of the C? Index value of the C is 4. So next, D will be fitted at 4 into 2, which will be equal to 8. 4 into 2, which will be equal to 8. At the index value of the 8, 5, 6, 7, and the 8 index. At the index value of the 8, your D is fitted. Then next, E is a left child of D. The index value of the D is 8. So now 8 into 2, which will be equal to 16. So at the index value of the 16, E will be stored. At the index value of 16, E will be stored. That is, next value will be 9. Next index value will be 10. So like that, it will continue. At the index value 16, my last element is stored, that is the E. The same thing is represented vertically over here. Same thing is represented as the vertically over here. So this is how we store the elements in the array representation. So if you observe carefully, so let me write one more example for this one. So let me go with the right skewed tree over here. If it is in a right skewed tree, so let me add one more page over here. So in case of right skewed tree, let me take the same tree, but it is a right skewed tree. I will take A will have a right child called B, then B will have a right child called C, then C will have the right child called D, then D will have the right child called E. So now to store this tree in the arrays, first again we will have the array representation over here. Starting index value is 0, which is left blank intentionally. Then the next index value is 1, where my root is stored. In case of this one, the root is A. So now to go get the index value for the B. So B is the right child. So take the index value of its parent. What is the parent of the B? A. Take the index value. Index value is 1 multiplied by 2 is the index value for the left side. For the index value for the right child, add 1 to it. 1 into 2 plus 1, which will be equal to 3. That is, now it is 1, 2 and the 3. So the third index value, I am going to store the next, that is the child of A, which is B. Next, C is the child of B. So C is the right child of B. Now to store C, take the index value of the B. What is the index value of the B? 3. So now 3 into 2 plus 1. 3 into 2 is a 6. 6 plus 1, which will be equal to 7. At the index value 7, my next element is stored. My next element is stored at the index value 7. 4, 5, 6, 7. At the index value 7, my next element is a C. C is stored. The next element, my next element is D. D is there as a right child of the C. So now what is the index value for the D? It is 7 into 2 plus 1. 7 into 2 is 14 plus 1 is 15. At the index value 15, my next element is stored. That is, at the index value 15, my next element is stored. My next element is D. Next, to store D, it is 15 into 2 plus 1. 30 plus 1, which will be equal to 31. at the index value 31, for the index value 31, my next element is E. E is stored. So if you observe carefully over here, in the array representation, I am just storing 5 elements, but it is taking up to the index value of 31, means 32 index I am using. So out of 32 index, I am just storing 5 elements over here. So now what is the unused space? 27 unused space are there, which is nothing but wastage of memory. Even though I am not using that memory, but I am storing. I am using the index values over there. So now this is the main drawback with the arrays. If the tree is skewed, then I am wasting a lot of space over here. I am wasting a lot of space in the array representation. It is a major setback of using the arrays for the binary tree representation. Let us take the other type of the tree. So let me take the complete binary tree. So now in case of complete binary tree, if I go for this tree which is given in the figure, so first A I will start at the index value 1, at the index value 0 is left blank, and at the index value 1 A is stored. Then next at the index value 1 into 2 is 2, my left child is stored. Plus 1, 2 plus 1 is 3, my right child is stored. Then next B index value is 2. So the child of 2, 2 into 2 is 4. At the fourth position, the left child is stored. And at the fifth position, its right child is stored. Its right child is E. E is stored. So then next, go to the C. So now the left child of the C will store at 3 into 2, that is 6. At the 6, the left child of C is stored, that is your F. Then next plus 1 at the index value 7, its right child is stored, its right child of the C is G. Then next, go to the fourth index. What is the fourth index? Have the D. Take the left child of the D. What is the left child of the D? H. H is stored at the index value of 4 into 2, which is 8. At the index value 8, my left child of D is stored, that is H. Then at the index value 9, its right child is stored. What is the right child of the D? That is I. Then the rest of the places. So now in this notation, if you observe, we have not used, there are no unused space except that zeros index which was left blank intentionally. That is, if the tree is a complete binary tree, then the array representation has a higher advantage. That is, all the places are used over here. So that is a higher advantage we get if the tree is a complete binary tree. If the tree is a skewed binary tree, then most of the places in the array will be left blank. There is a drawback. Depending on our type of the tree, we should design the data structure. So which data structure to go for representing the tree? There is a question mark always. If your tree, what you are constructing, if it is a binary tree, that to a complete binary tree, then the most advantages will be your array representation. If the tree is a skewed tree, then it is not recommended to have the array representation because it will waste lot of the space. Now to overcome that drawback, there is one more representation is there, that is your linked representation. In the linked representations, we will have the two links it will be used over there. That is a doubly linked list representation we are going to use for the binary trees. Right? So before that one, we will see the problems in the array representation. This array representation is quite good for the binary trees. That to complete binary trees, it is quite good. We are not wasting any memory over there. It is an absolute fit for the complete binary trees. If my tree is not a complete binary tree, if it is a skewed tree or any other type of tree, what happens? My memory is wasted. Memory is one of the important resource in the field of computer science. When we go to the computer architecture, memory is memory and the time. These are the two important aspects what we consider for deciding the efficiency of any of the algorithm. So now in this method, if my tree is a skewed tree or any other type tree other than my complete binary tree, then most of my memory space is wasted over there. So which is not recommended in the field of computer science. So array representation is preferred only if your tree is a complete binary tree. Then the second one, in case of array representation, the insertion and deletion from the middle of the tree. If I want to delete any element from the middle of the tree, then there are lot of changes I need to make it to the representation. Along with the memory wastage, if I need to insert or delete a node from the middle of the tree, which require a lot of effort of moving many of the nodes to reflect the change in the level of the trees. So that's why the array representation, compared to array representation, linked list representation is preferred. That is, these problems can be overcome with the help of the linked list representation. Let us learn the linked list representation. For the linked list representation, as I told earlier, we are going to use the doubly linked list representation. What the each node of the doubly linked list will have? That is, one will be your left link, one will be left link, and other will be your right link, and we used to have our data field. The left link used to have our previous element, right link used to have our next element. Left link used to have our previous element, right link is used to have our next element. Now let us alter our definition so that will fit in the trees. Let us, in place of your previous element, let me call it as a left link will hold my left child address, right link will hold my right child address. In place of our previous node, we will store the address of left child in the left link and right child in the address of the right child in the right link. And the middle one will have your data field. Middle one will have the data field. These are the three fields of each node in case of the doubly linked list now, which we are using for the representation of the binary trees. What are these three fields? The first one is the left child, second one is the right child, next is the data. What left child is? A left link. The left link of the doubly linked list is used for your left child. The right link of the doubly linked list used for your right child, and the information of the node will be stored in the data field. If you go for defining this one in the C, first will be type define structure node. That is, a node is a structure. It is having the three components now. What are the three components? The first one is your data field, next one is your left child, then the next one is your right child. So that left link we are calling as a left child, right link we are calling as a right child, so that they can be used appropriately. Now, for each node, we will have three fields. The first one will be my data field. Data can be an integer data, or that depends on your requirement. If you are using just for the notation purpose, I am using the integer data. If I want to store my hierarchy of my parent-child relationship, so what are all the data it will be stored? If we take up my parent as an example, what are all the data will be stored? Name of the parent, their Aadhaar number, their PAN number, their address, everything will be stored over there. There we need again one more structure can be used over there. That can be a data. But for the sake of notations, we are just using one integer data over here. Then next, we have the two links over here. One is my left child, other is the right child. Left child will point to one more node. What the node is of type? It is a pointer of type tree pointer. It is a pointer of a tree pointer which is of type node. Again, one more is my right child. Right child is of type tree pointer. What tree pointer is of type? It is of type node. Fine. So like this, we can go for creating the node for the representing the binary tree. Each node of the binary tree. Fine. So now if we go for the representation, how it will be used? First, left child. That is, this is my data. So now left child is your left link. Left link is connected to your left child. Then the right link will be connected to your right child. Left link is connected to left child. Right link is connected to right child. So this is my entire node representation. If I go for representing this one for the skewed tree, how it will be used? First element is A. So now A is a node. So now A node will have the three component over there, left child and the right child. So left, I don't have the right child for the A, so that will be kept null. So null means you are zero. Null means is zero. Zero is the ASCII value for the null. For the right child, I will connect the next element. What is my next element over there? B. So B is connected over here. Again, there is no right child for the B. It will be kept null. Again, for the left child of B, I will connect my next element. What is my next element over there? That is C. The link field of the C is made a null. Again, for the left link of the C, I will connect my left next child. What is my next child over here? D. The link field of the D will be made null. Again, for the D, E is connected. So E don't have any children, left or the right, both the links are made null. So this is for your left skewed tree. If the same thing, if I go for the right skewed tree, so if I have the tree as A as a only one children, that is B as a right child, then B as a only one children, C as the right child, C as a only one children, D as the right child, so D as a only one children, E as the right child. So now to represent this one, first we start off with the A again. So A is my root. So there is no left child for the A. The link field will be made a null. A is the node value. Then the right child, I will connect the B. To the right child, I will connect the B. There is no left link for the B. So B for C is the right child of the B. So now again C will be, node C is created. There is no left child for the C. Right child for the C is a D. Right child for the C is a D. There is no left child for the D. Again, right child for the D is a E. So now in this notation, there is no children for the E. Both the links will be made null. So now in this notation, we have not wasted any memory. But even though we have not wasted any memory, but here we are using a pointer to store, which will again consume a little memory. Along with that one, it's a tedious task. But it will save my most of memory if it is a skewed tree. And if I want to insert any node in between, suppose in between B and the C I want to insert. How to do that one? I want to insert F over here. How it can be inserted? Just by altering the node value, I can insert B to C, F I will connect, then F to C I will connect. That is, inserting and deleting the elements from the list representation is quite easy and simple when compared to the array representation over there. In case of array representation, entire or middle of the array, half of the array portion I need to shift if I want to go for inserting or deleting in the middle. But with the list representation, that limitations can be removed. Anywhere I can insert, anywhere I can delete with the help of the just traversing the link fields. I can do that. If I go for representing the complete binary tree, how it will be? So A is my root node. A is connected with the B and the C. So now B is connected as a left child, C is connected as a right child. Now for the B, D is connected as a left child, E is connected as a right child. For the D, H is connected as a left child, I is connected as a right child. Then for the C, F is connected as a left child and G is connected as a right child. That is, we are not losing anything. But here, there in case of arrays, just by following the index values, we can get the node values. But here we need to follow the link values. Again, link will take up a small storage, but that is negligible storage. It will take up a small storage, but it is a negligible storage. Fine. So this is the advantage of having the tree representation using the linked list. But for your representation purpose, you have to learn both. What are both the mechanisms? The first one is a array representation and the second one is a list representation. In the array representation, how the elements are stored? The elements are stored sequentially over there. Then how to get the next element in the array? In the array, we have to keep track of the index to get our next element. So now I want to go to the left child of my parent. If my parent is at an index value 3, how to go to the left child of this one? You have to multiply by 2 to go to your left child. How to go to the right child? You have to multiply by 2 and you have to add 1 to it to go to your right child. and the index value 0 will be kept blank, and your root will start at the index value of 1. Root will start at the index value of 1. So that representation is simple with the arrays, but the disadvantages are more. If the array is in complete binary tree representation, there it can be advantages, but in rest of the cases, it is a disadvantages. That is, most places may be unused, or if you want to insert or delete in between, it is a tedious task. It requires lot of node movements over there. Now, to overcome that limitations, we go with the list representation. In the list representation, we use a doubly linked list for representing the binary trees. Doubly linked list usually used to have the two links, that is left link and the right link. So now that left link we replace with the left child, and the right link we replace with the right child. That is these two left link will now the left child will point to the my left child, and right link will point to the right child. Maximum we can have the two children which can be accommodated with the help of the doubly linked list. And these are the two different representations for the binary tree. Right? So next. The references for this presentation are taken from the textbook Ellis Horowitz and Sartaj Sahni, Fundamentals of Data Structures in C, 2nd edition, University Press 2014, and Samuel Lepture's Data Structures, Sham Outline Series, revised 1st edition, Tata McGraw-Hill 2014. Thank you. Any doubts on this session, we will clarify that one in your online classes. Thank you.